I'm turning down my music. Okay, hiya. Today's listening is Kasabian. Welcome to the show. It's the show. All right, as per the usual, I've got the in the chat here along the side of the screen. You should see if you have a one-page comic idea you want that you can put in one or two sentences. Put it here in the chat or in the comment section below the video after the video is recorded. So that's in the live section on my YouTube channel. So I have been busy, and it's hizzy. Somebody asked me yesterday. I started my day. Now this is before I even finished my day, but I started my day yesterday about 4:30 in the morning. I woke up a couple nightmares. You know, you have nightmares every now and then, no explanation. I just couldn't get back to sleep. And that's when I started my day and started getting to work. And I went to bed last night at about 12:30. So, that's a long day. I got lethargic at one point, got a second wind, and geez, I'm up for hours again. I had a little brief 15-minute nap, and that was all I needed to continue on. It was a ridiculously long day, and that's not something I normally do. But a normal day for me, considering everything, is that I get up for generally just before 8 or 8, 7, 8 in there. Immediately grab a bite, shower, grab a bite to eat, because I have to take medication first thing in the morning, and in order to eat. And then I get to work, and I work on other projects for other people. And then I do that until about 11, 12, generally 12. And then I have the next couple of hours for doing stuff, that is for me. Just like upcoming books, and trying to format these 2 books right now. And then I spend, come on here at 2:00. I spend the next little bit here doing this. And after this is over, 3:34, I do my housework. And, that is the way of the house husband. My wife comes home. She's usually got some stuff she wants to do or some chill time. So I'll come back in here, and I'll try to finish off or plug away on whatever the page is from the day or from that day. And so that I can get it wrapped up later that night. And that's, I try to juggle getting X amount of work done each day on these multiple things that way. Because you can't just sit down and plug away on one thing every day, day in, day out. It doesn't work. So, all right. So I pulled a one-page idea out of the book. It's the book. The book has the ideas. So, yeah. So that's the gist of that. So just for those that, so the specific person that had asked me that's an answer to how do I try to routine my day. It doesn't let me get away much to get out and do things. That's usually an evening activity. So I tend to like doing that stuff at night. And I've got Comic Jam, next London Comic Jams on Monday night, 6 to 9, the TAP, Center for Creativity, downtown London. So Ontario, Canada. I'll go out and do things like that. And I've got some stuff I'm putting together for a friend's business that's opening up. And I got a couple of other little jobs that are on the way. So busy, but that's the structure of my day. That's how I break it down. And I find that routine like that, and trying to plot my time and on these different things, allows me to feel productivity in those bursts, right? Like you sort of say, I get this much done on this and this time allotment. I get this much done on the next thing and this time allotment. It allows you to come at each of those things and to not feel like, well, I really got to get back to doing that, or I really feel like I'm not getting enough done on this, or it sort of takes away from that external pressure at the back of my head about these other things that I want to get together. Well, I'm just doing them, but I'm doing them in these time allotments. And I arguably, I'd say that there are days that, yes, while I'm working on projects for others, there is definitely a part of me that would rather be working on my own thing. But you got to meter it out. And metering it out for me, I find, and having that routine pattern, that discipline, allows me to put that burst of energy into this thing. Step away for a minute, or as I call them, cigarette breaks. I don't smoke. I'm not actually taking a cigarette break. But what I'm referring to is that you do X amount on this project, then you step away, have a break for a minute, go to do whatever you need to do with whatever facility, and then replenish your drink supply or get a snack, and then you come back and you're ready to roll on the next thing. You spend a little burst of time on the next thing, do the same routine, and on to the next thing. So it's right now for one-page comics. If I don't include the 6-page piece, the one-page comic that I did with my grandkids, which is clearly not one page, which I might be submitting to something else to sort of have some involvement with what this other project is, but not necessarily ready to take away some time to work on something specific to that, just because I've got other things going on. If I don't count that, then this is page 24 directly that I have put out for the one-page comics. I've got 4 additional ones that I've done that I'm sitting there in the back, in the backlog, so that I can show those on Saturdays and Sundays, so that I can just keep the algorithm going. So I'm actually at 28 right now, and still going. So my objective goal right now is to get 50 of these done that I feel good about, and then look into what do I do about one-page comic extravaganza number 2. And what I mean by what do I do about that is that I've published my own stuff largely myself, and in addition to all the other things that the RP Comics has published over the years. But I'm tired of that at this point. I'm kind of ready to move on and see if anybody else wants to take over the publishing part of it for me, because I've published 70 books in 7 years, and I'm tired. I just need a replenishment break. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to hey, how you doing, Dee Dee? Welcome aboard. Watching and working. I love it. I especially love the fact that you're engaging and like letting it play in the background, but you're still working. I like that. That's how I watch programs. I can't just sit there and stare at them. I got to keep my hands busy, or, I might get a little, well, I will. I'll get completely distracted. Dee Dee, have you thought up a one-page comic idea? And if you have, let me know. Otherwise, I've got a backup one for working on. Howdy, Philip. Philip, who doesn't go to bed. Philip, who stays up all night making food in the kitchen. What are we having, Philip? Okay, so yesterday's page. Let me get through this. And then I'm going to get clunking away on something here I've been playing. So, turning down this. I find that music in the back of my head just helps me focus my thoughts. I know that seems counterintuitive, but it does. Okay, so yesterday's page, the suggestion was, in the future, man lands on Mars and establishes the first intergalactic coffee shop. And that's the idea that was presented. That idea was presented to me by Mr. Philip Chandler. And taking myself off for a second. So this is how I went about it. I looked at it as Molly O'Donnelly, the first person on Mars, who's an entrepreneur. This is her talking through herself as she spends part of her time in the Mars habitat that she's setting up, putting together a coffee shop so that when other people eventually do come to Mars, she's going to make a killing, huh? That is a business that is a corner market. Yeah, where else are they going to get coffee? It's all about Molly's business. So it's something silly. But the idea in the future, man lands on Mars and establishes the first intergalactic coffee shop. I just happened to fast forward that the coffee shop takes precedence over, a lot of the scientific things that she's probably supposed to be doing there. Because I'm a weirdo. So this was a fun one. And hey, welcome aboard, Phil. Or welcome aboard, Jim. Welcome aboard, Dee Dee. And anybody else that I've missed, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best to keep up. Here's the question of the hour. What's for lunch, Philip? And the second question of the hour is, you have a one-page comic idea that you can put in 1 or 2 sentences. Put it here in the chat or in the comment section below the video after the chat is over. And oh, hey, Philip, making oatmeal. All right. I hear you. I hear you, Philip. Oatmeal. Breakfast? Where are you? Don't you mean what time is it? Nope. You can have oatmeal at other meals. Anyways. So the idea that I have for today, unless anybody else has another one-page comic idea that comes forward, it's after 2 p.m. here as well, Dee Dee. We're in the same time zone. Okay, so so this is yesterday's. This is the day before, and then I spent some of my time putting together stream pages and blah 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 blah. So, okay, now I've got a whole bunch of kit and caboodle in front of me. Bing, and I've got something else that I'm able to do at this point. I have figured out a method where I can type things onto the robot. So as we're talking, I can put some of the stuff that we're talking about on the screen. And in that way, we can hold on to some of the ideas in our discussion and some of the salient points that maybe might be universally helpful for us all. So I think it'll work. Bingo. So, yeah, if anybody has anything that, if we're engaged in conversation, or if there's an idea of the day, this is what I'm going to do from now on, is that I'm going to have it set up so that I can have these bullet points at the top of the screen instead of having the banner that I had before, which cut off some of what I was doing. Now I've got it set up so that I can actually engage in. There we go. I'm writing it down. A typo that changed the course of history. So I can do this now. Now, Dee Dee, can you spell your last name for me? It's Willingham? I think it is. Yep, there it is. I see it now. Okay, so I can now type that. Today's one-page comic. I'm really excited about this, to have been able to figure this out. Chris is getting better with the technologies, and which in the words of Bjork, makes all the children laugh. So you got to do Bjork quotes whenever you can, folks. So now I can put this on the screen so that people that are wondering, what the heck is he doing? What's that guy doing? Well, that's what I'm doing. So, okay, that's what we're working on today. I like that. Thank you, Dee Dee. The other idea was there are and always will be multiple Earths. Yours is just one. That came out of my book, my little book that has ideas like haunted bow tie. Whoever wears it kills. So, okay, so I have some paper here that I find little bits of paper every now and then, and I'll buy a random thing, and it just looks like it makes no sense, and I just go for it. And so that's what this is. It's a grass paper. It's got all kinds of natural grass in it and real texture to it, and it was a hot, heavyweight compressed page that was put together here, and so it's nice and smooth, but with these little filaments in it. It's really good. So I've got some of that for today's project. Oh, sorry. What's the closest I've come to being stumped by a one-page idea submission? No, I haven't. I haven't come across one that has stumped me. I've rejected some, but that's largely because I don't want to do that, or it's either something that I find has been done numerous times by other people, or Dee Dee, we're doing your suggestion in case you missed that. So I haven't come across anybody that have actually stumped me, because my head's wired a little, ridiculous. So I will just immediately launch off into a side tangent of some sort of other association. So when it comes to looking at an idea directly, if somebody says, I just want this and do it this way, that's probably not going to happen, because if I was interested in doing other people's scripts or doing other people's breakdowns for me, I wouldn't be doing this, right? The whole idea of this is free form, tap the crazy. So I haven't been stumped by any, but there are some that I've just flat out thrown away, like anything that involves the do a really hot babe, and she's like really got the business, I'm out. That's not my jam. And or anybody that's given me it's a serial killer and he's stabbing a guy in the face, or a serial killer it was a serial killer that only stabs people in the face, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that sounds to me like therapy, right? You need some. So there are some that I've rejected, but I've never found myself stumped. But that's a really awesome question, Jim, and thank you very much for that. I appreciate that a lot. I don't mean to answer that like it's, I never get stumped. I'll go sideways. This is my point. If somebody says, do it, here's the suggestion, and the first thought you might have is this literal dead on, oh, well, that clearly means do it like this. I generally zig instead of zag. Like yesterday's suggestion from Philip about the man lands on Mars and establishes a first intergalactic coffee shop. Now, somebody else might look at, I had to read it over there. Somebody else might look at that and do it as a literal spaceship comes down, people get out, and up comes a pop-up coffee shop. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a cool suggestion, just in that as itself. But what I'm talking about with my zig instead of zag is that my idea is to, at the same time, explore a little bit about a character. Any of these opportunities is kind of a little quick character examination. Sometimes it's about the characters and the pieces, and sometimes it's about myself. Like the balloon one was clearly about myself. Here's the specifics of the balloon situation, as for the Chinese weather/spy balloon. But here's my take on it, which happens to be the lyrics from Sammy Davis's Up, Up and Away, which is a song about using balloons as a metaphor for getting embraced in love. So because I don't want to look at just doing a literal thing, a little piece of reportage about the news. That's not how my brain works. And if I wanted to do that, I'd be a videographer for some sort of television or newspaper or online media companies, So I zig instead of zag. And that's what keeps me from getting stumped, I think. It might give some varied results that don't make any sense, though. I'll give you that, right? Or somebody might look at it and go, what in the heck have you done, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. That's not what I think the person was expecting. So what has Philip said here? That haunted bow tie joke made you burst out laughing. I must have said that. I want to do this. See, here's a page. It's not that it stumped me. It's that this is an idea of my own, is that I'll write down random thoughts that come in my head in one of my little sketchbooks here. You've seen these. These are the little tiny sketchbooks that I keep that are just chock-a-block full of nonsense. And so I'll write over my own drawings. I'll write down these ideas, and one of them is haunted bow tie. Whoever wears it kills. I want to do that as a comic at some point in time, but I've set myself up with an idea, and how much of that do I want to explore? Like, do I want it to be like a 6-page piece or whatever? So I'm holding on to it, but that's the goofiest idea that's come across my lap, and of course it came out of my own woo woo. So, but hey, that's I'm glad that makes you laugh, Philip. Thanks very much, Jim. I like the way your mind works. I'm actually quite taken with the way that a lot of the people here are really engaged in their own processes. And I'm really taken by the fact that despite the fact that a lot of us work in very different ways, that there's an interaction between us all that I feel inspired by a lot of these engagements. And I feel inspired by, a lot of the people that I get to meet and watch them do what they do. It was really a blessing yesterday to dial in to finally have a chance of getting a notification of one of Dee Dee's streams, and which I was very excited about. And then watching all of the interaction between everybody there, and starting to look at all their sites, and they're all crafty people. Oh, fantastic! I like crafts. Okay, so I've got some paper. The idea today is at the top of the screen. Look how I can do that now. I'm a happy monkey. Philip says, I now want to make a 1940s style movie poster of haunted bow tie. Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. Jim says, I saw haunted bow tie at Coachella in 2017. They're pretty good. I would pay cash money for a band to have the nickname, or for a band to have the name Haunted Bow Tie. That's pretty great. That would be Haunted Bow Tie, because what kind of visuals is that band going to have for any of its marketing? Let a band name themselves that, and let me illustrate their covers, please. Hey, Dee Dee, thank you. Okay, so Dee Dee's idea is a typo that changed the course of history. We have it at the top of the page. I'm going to put, what else I can put at the top of the page is this. Woohoo! No one's more excited than me about this. I'm pretty sure of it. And, to be able to do this in real time, I find this is the thing. I'm always looking for ways that we can engage and interact together, so that it maybe pays off a little more for your time being spent listening to this. Woohoo! So I'm really excited about this. So now I could put what the one-page comic suggestion is, and who gave it to me. So thank you very much for that. If people are okay with that, if people start saying they're not okay with that, I'll take names off. So, all right. So I've got some paper, and this is what this paper is. It's a grass paper. That's all this is. And so it's fairly translucent. I don't know if you see, so you can see here through the back, you can see the black paper peeking through. It's underneath the parchment. So this is very exciting stuff. So I've got some rips off of that. Probably end up doing something with. This is a parchment paper. And I'm going to figure out some way to get that involved in what I'm doing right now. Black paper or white paper is today's magic question, folks. You know, that's where, you know, if you have a preference of those and either of those, let me know. But usually I'll just start kicking, and that gives me my direction for, you know, for where the page starts flowing out of. Now we were at and to answer something, so I save these. I don't know if anybody else does. One of my sons is crazy about board games, and so whenever he gets a new board game, there's all these punch-out tabs for the playing pieces for it, and he saves these for me, or I snag them before he gets rid of them. This is about as close as I have gotten to having stencils so far. So it's this is a fun little thing that I'm going to start using more, because I was really quite taken with Dee Dee's grandson doing. All right, Black it is. Dee Dee's grandson using stencils to put an after effect in a drawing he was doing. So Keen Jelly Bean. All right. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to use my stencil, or one of my stencils, and I'm very, very excited. It's one of those things where three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we'll just go with this. So it's one of those things where when you see somebody do something, there's always this sort of epiphany that goes through your own head about, oh, that works. Yeah, I got to try that. Oh, the big argument, of course, in everybody's head is, well, what's the answer to that? Is it sort of taking their idea, or is it going with your own? And I think it's going with your own. I think it's taking something that you've seen somebody else utilize and figuring out a way in which you yourself can utilize that for your own work. So it's not like you're copying. It's not like you're taking their notion and just running away with it and not having any responsiveness to what they've done. So okay, typewriter. That's what my brain's immediately done, is a typo that changed the course of history. Well, there's the start of it is right there. Oh, thank you very much, Dee Dee. It's Black. First off, Black is more dramatic. That's why I dress this way. Black is slimming. That's why. Everyone uses stencils. It's all about how you use them. How do you do it? I do it with a smile. All right. So first thing I'm doing is laying down a typewriter and having some fun. I have a ruler. Maybe I'll use that. This is my favorite kind of ruler. I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more. It is because it has this grid pattern on it. Man, is it ever short step the process of figuring out the square on things. So big fan, big booster of that. Mm-hmm. And it keeps your lines. It keeps everything lined up nicely. Like, it just lets your workflow expedite, because there's much less thinking involved. So me likey. I hope everybody had a good night. I hope that as everybody's having a chance to pursue their interests and the things that they're wanting to create right now. There's so many things that we can all be doing that it's nice. It's nice when you get into that flow and you're feeling like the stuff that you're doing has got that principal energy to it. Philip did a nice drawing last night of it looked like a dude and his dog, but that was just a first. Don't tell me. I'm excited to see it. So I'm sorry that I wheel around my drawings a lot while I'm working. I find it helps me fly through things faster if I'm moving those in such a way as it makes it more comfortable as I'm working on them. So, I apologize if that's disorienting for anybody. But, it happens. So I've said this before, resource imagery is good for starting with, but don't feel like you're locked into it. There's that can be a restraint, because if you spend your time staring it down and saying, well, this is, it's got to look like this, it's got to look like that, you're never going to get to actually getting on with executing the project. So I'm drawing across the image just per scuzz, but the reason that I keep myself kind of open in this process, because I'm not actually worried about getting right across the typewriter image. I'm executing from one side over to the other, but I'm not actually concerned about doing the entirety of the typewriter, because I may well just stop at a specific point and say, well, this is where it is. This is where this is how much of it's going to be in the shot, because that's what I find is a really liberating thing about being able to take our pages, our images that we've put together, put them into Photoshop, and adjust them accordingly. I found that the original page I did yesterday. One sec. Where did I leave it? I left it in the scanner. I gotta wipe the surface of the scanner because a piece of the paint was still wet. This is the original page. Whoops, I'm sorry for washing out the camera. This is the original page that I did yesterday for what ended up being this. So there's something to being able to take the size of panels and changing the relationship. Like you can see these two smaller panels here. So when I went through in Photoshop and started cleaning up my page, I'm now able to make this panel much larger and to the same height and scale as these others, move this panel up beside there. Whoops, I'm sorry. I can take this panel, make it the same height as these, move this panel up beside those, have this panel that float in front of another one. And so I'm really enjoying the opportunities that are presented by the ability to manipulate that. So that's why I'm really into the pile. That's why I'm really not too hung up right now about having the page to look like a very specific execution of a panel, to have the page look like a very specific execution of this is its finished image, this is its finished result. And it's not that I won't do finished images. I mean, of course, the stuff that I'm scanning is ready to roll, but I don't want to leave it a lot to After Effects because I do like working mixed media. So the stuff that I'm putting together is still ready to rock. It's just I can change its size. I can, if I'm feeling like it's a little compounded, the image, or I was having a problem with my perspective to the point that I was really getting quite annoyed because I had my desk tilted up so much that I thought it was throwing off my perspective when I was working. So that's why you can see more of the image now, because I flattened my desk out, which is why I have to do a little bit of this leaning over jazz. So, hey, Gary Hodges just joined in. How you doing, Gary? Okay, so, yeah, you gonna work? You gonna do that thing for me? There you go. Good. You're good. Now, I'm putting the letters in here, but truth be told, I very well may just put those letters down in proper typeface. I don't know. I'll decide. So my initial idea is here to do the top banner, the top image across the page from the suggestion of a typo that changed the course of history. Thank you, Dee Dee. So I will be, I'll be placing that across in our title area. I'll have a typewriter to it. So. I sourced an image of an old typewriter for me to work from. It's because I really wanted to make sure I had these letters in the on the typewriter correctly. There we go. The official emojis of DPSM. That's good fun. All right. Oh, I know what I'll do first. So a typo that changed the course of the history is a fun idea. I like this very much. I'm curious to what your head says, when you suggest that, but at the same time, I'm not asking you to, well, I'll just do what you were thinking. That's not what I meant. I'm curious as to where that idea came from. Like, is it something that you'd seen at some point in time that was a type of story or something like that? Like that's just fun. There's a comic that I can't remember what the title of it is now. I start talking about it, and of course I forget its title. I have a book. It's a series of. The one book is the entire history of the Napoleonic Wars. Sorry, and but the entire comic is done in dots, and so all of the panels, if you can imagine, is this. Here's the dot, and here comes another dot, and the first dot says to the second one, "Hello," and then the second dot says, "Who are you?" And so this way of doing an entire comic, right, is you can imagine at some point where it's entire armies fighting, there'll be panels that it just looks like stippling, and then one of them says, "Charge!" Like it was such a great idea, but it's the key moments of dramatic engagement in the situation in the Napoleonic Wars. It just made me laugh so hard, this book, when I first saw it. I've got it in a box, and I've kept these for years, and I think that any idea has some has some quality to it that could just be explored and played with, and if you can do the entire Napoleonic Wars in with dots, I think we can do comics pretty much about anything at this point, because it's just too fun, and it's just too liberating. So yeah, so along the top of the page, if there's talking points, if you know, if there's a question or an issue of the day that we're chatting about, I can put that along the top of the screen now, and I can also put up the one-page comic suggestions that I'm working from. So, you know, it's going to be fun. I'm missing stuff. I'm so sorry. Oh, excellent. Dee Dee likes anything with time travel, dimensions, and history. Of course. Please watch Dark, Dee Dee. Dark on Netflix. Dark. It is possibly the greatest story I've ever. It's 3 seasons of perfection, and there's no hiccup between them. You'll flow from one right to the next. It's a husband and wife directing and producing and writing team. So then they do everything themselves. Dee Dee made an iPad typo. That's where the idea for this page came from, and that's a very nice comment of you, Dee Dee. I hope you like it. There's you gotta find a notion right off the bat to kick into your story with. There we go. I found that these suckers have an inconsistency to them. These paint pens, these paint markers. And so I have developed this little shtick, this little way of working with them to keep that pigment coming out in the way as I want it. That and not get these lumps. I'll squeeze the pen out off the side here, as you can see on the tape up above, so that I can keep drawing and keep pulling out of it. Have I tried Posca paint pens? No, I haven't. At least I don't believe I have. I'm not familiar with those. Are they good? Are they fun? Maybe that's something I should look for. I think that Dee Dee, you've got so many good material ideas, and you have so many fantastic tool ideas and approaches that you take to things. And I think that I need to just sit down nearby you with a notepad and start writing down some of these things. I'm going to grab a brush and start pulling out some of this pigment when it gets away from me. Start spreading that love around. I need to get a white one with different nib sizes too. Where would I find those? Because our art supply stores in London are limited. Curry's was a good one that they just left town, and we have Michael's here, as every place else under the sun has a Michael's. But I find that the ones that we have here tend not to keep stuff in stock worth a ding dong, at least the one at my end of the city. And I really don't want to drive across London just for art supplies. It's bad enough I have to do that for shoes. I wear a stupid size of shoe, and the only place I can get those in London is across town. So it's a 25-minute ride just for footwear. Yeah, see, this is being rather disagreeable. I know. Like I've said before, I have eaten more paint than should be possible in the course of years of working on stuff. Is that I have drank more paint water, and I have licked my fingers or done something stupid while working in a studio, or forgot to open a window and spraying something or other. You know, it's a miracle I'm here. I think that's the reason I'm tall. is just the sheer gross amount of chemical whatnot that's I've imbibed or is around me. So Amazon has them. Okay. Thank you very much, Didi. I'll put that up there in case anybody else is. So Posca paint pens, white ones have different nib sizes, and on Amazon. That's awesome. Thank you. Looks like the typewriter is morphing, changing, cloudy. Oh yeah, fun. Yeah, it's sort of just, I'll draw lighter than in the initial point, then as I move along, I'll try to pull. It's almost like when you're working and you're sculpting out of stone, you try to pull the thing out of the stone. I tend to work where I'm building in layers a lot of the time, and try to draw things out of from a lighter beginning. All I would take is just to push this down really lightly once, and I'll get this huge dollop of paint. And yet I still drag it the way I did. Silliness. I don't want that dollop. I don't want that dollop. All right. So, get rid of that. My music that I was listening to has run out already. My goodness. Yeah, I find that anytime that you can have fun with whatever it is that you're doing, there's something liberating in just pursuing something in a kind of abstract and playful way. I find that for me, that tends to be the headspace that I approach most work at, instead of being too concerned about its result or its direction. I just want to get at it, get to it. And so if that, I think Gary Hodges called it that I tend to look like it's organized chaos, or it's chaos, but something's going to come out of it. I can't remember how he phrased it. I'm sorry. But I think that there's definitely a legitimacy to that statement. I am chaos. Woo! Buy the t-shirt. Is there any medium that anybody has tried here that they have just hit a loggerhead with? Like they just, when they got down to it with this medium, it's like, forget it. This is not working out for me. I'm not enjoying it, and I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't work with oil paint. And it's not that I can't do anything with oil paint. Is that I think I'm allergic to something in the binding, because it just makes me, that dry cough is what comes out of me when I've tried doing it, and which is really antagonizing, because man, I wanted to try it. I wanted to play in the world of oil paint, but I can't. I think that's the one medium that has really pushed me back. And oil pastels as well. I tend to work with chalk pastels. Sent me a pic on the Postcards on Instagram. Thank you, Didi. You don't like Didi doesn't like oil pastels. Oils are too time consuming for you. Yeah, you tend to be like me and work like a freight train, just right down that track. Oil painting, yeah. So that's I think that's really the big medium that is something that I don't tend to do too much with. Is that oil-based materials? Just We have an understanding, oil-based materials and I. I'll leave them alone if they leave me alone. So just cleaning up some of these lines, not too overly worried about all of it, but just trying to draw that format of it a little bit more. And so I've cut off. There's still another third to the typewriter that I just haven't bothered with because I know for a fact that I'm not going to have the entirety of that in there, so that's where the drop off of the image is. Because that ain't the whole alphabet. I know. Words are hard and spelling is harder. So I've had that before. I did something in a painting and I cut part of it off, and I've actually had somebody come up to me and say, "Hey, you missed part." Yeah. Okay. I'm writing it down, Frank. No job's too big. No job's too small. Dragon. When I first read this, I read it as one-page comic idea for Chris, rethinking his life choices. I didn't read the word dragon. So I put that on the list. And that'll be I don't know what day it is. Thursday. That'll be tomorrow. So yeah, good stuff. Where I've lost my pencil. Where did it go? Is it in my ear? Who knows? Oh, it's right here. For heaven's sakes. Boy, oh boy, when my looks go, I'm dead. So I've done the internal part of the typewriter. I'm just going to do its exterior edge, and then on to the next thing. Yeah, I like that. That's a good. It's a good suggestion. I'll be putting that together for tomorrow. I think I get to draw a dragon. I just did a dragon recently. I overheard some conversation last night. Philip, if you're still here, Philip was asking about. I don't. My work here is done. I don't build up structural frames for when I'm drawing. I tend to tractor, like draw like a, how old printers would tractor out the information where it would just move from the left to the right, top to the bottom. Frick, I always wear these. I've been wearing armbands for, in some shape or form, and sometimes I take them off for a while, but about 35 years. My friend David makes me these. These are handmade by a buddy of mine. This is the third set that I have worn out, so that he has been making me in the last 10 years, and I really like him. And David Court, ladies and gentlemen, if you look him up, David Court's Leatherwork. And he's very talented, and I've tried to suggest to him to do more of it and do pieces for clients, and he just does it for fun. So I can't necessarily say that we can get him to do pieces for people, but every now and then he gives me one of these, and I like it. He also did a really wicked leather case for a throwing axe I have. which I don't realize sounds crazy, but I'm really thankful. Yeah, these are my power bands. Believe it or not, I feel more comfortable wearing them. Come on, let's go. There we go. You have to friend him. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. It's my best, pretty much my best friend. I want to say that too loud, and I'd be like, no, I'm not. My wife's my best friend, but he's my best man friend. And if David heard this, he'd go, that's wrong. That's safe. Of course, our wives are number one because we are good husbands. This is faster. I can't tell you how many fingerprints I have in pieces over the years. All right. So I'm feeling good with that. I need to find my best girlfriend. Oh, well, man friend. You like that? Can you imagine if you spend all your time defining, this is my best friend, this is my best distant friend, this is my best man friend that lives remotely. That's a lot of time and effort. It's funny. I don't have a lot of friends. I think but if you have good people that you know and you meet, yeah, those are the ones that treasure. It ain't about quantity. So I'm just building up some of the. So okay. Jim is my best animator friend. There we go. It's declared. When I look at drawing in reverse, my that's interesting. You have to get my friends are all FIBs, friends in the box. Do you mean the talkie box, the talking magic thing? This thing, the interwebs? That's what your group calls each other. That's fantastic. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So when I'm a big fan of chiaroscuro. I'm a big fan of Caravaggio and guys like that. So I tend to like the idea of working in white on black surfaces because when I'm drawing, I tend to draw in shape and not line. And so because I draw that way, don't describe his girlfriend as someone that you know. Good Lord. Don't do that. So when I draw this way and I see and I look at my drawing and I do this with everything that I work, and I tend to look at the form over the line of things, and then that sort of lets me get away from breaking up my drawings into the sort of breakdowns under the surface. The sort of if I'm going to draw a hand, I have to draw a hand, and you've got your palm here and your thumb sticking out, and then there's your fingers. In my head, I just tend to look at it as the hand, and as in one course, one piece, where I'll just look at it as the shape of it itself. I know that doesn't necessarily make sense to some, but I don't know. It's more and more as I've been an adult, that's tend to be the way that I go about looking at as I'm drawing. And so I love to work in reverse, and I love to draw light on dark, because you're not drawing the lines of the objects themselves. You're drawing the volumes, positive and negative. So you're trying to draw the light and on a piece like this as a shape, as opposed to it being, drawing all the lines and contours around everything else. You're trying to fill in these forms. And so so I'll go about bringing up value because of that. And that's one of the ways when I'm working both positive or negative for, drawing on white or drawing color on a white piece of paper, or drawing black on a piece of paper. That's how my brain is processing it, is from its form standard. It lets me work faster, and that's when I start. So that's how I'll tractor across an image, going from left to right and filling it in because of that. And oftentimes when I'm working, I'll start from source images. Like my doodad that I had the typewriter picture on initially has been shut off for the majority of I got the letters down, good, and then the rest of it's just going for it. Because if I stay locked into working from that source, as soon as you got the inherent idea of the object down, that should be fine. You should be able to go from that, and don't rely so much on the source part, because then you're just trying to copy that thing, and you're going to get hung up in that. So let it go, move along, and use whatever you need to use to. Now this is in the way. Use whatever it is that you need to use in order to get those marks down, so that it lets you just keep plugging along and plugging forward. I'm really enjoying these. I brought these back out. These are the Kodenosuke, I think it's pronounced, the Kodenosuke pens, and they're really nice. They're pretty great. I have an obscene amount of Sharpies that I used for years, and a lot of my earlier books are Sharpies, and I only have them in the box for the London Comic Jam event that I run for other people to utilize, because I just don't use them anymore on any level, because they're not great archivally, for one, but also there's better markers out there like this guy. And it's got such a nice soft tip at the top, but a clear point, which is highly reminiscent of a brush pen. So I like that. I like that a lot. So, sorry, I missed. Yeah, definitely not a conversation, Gary. That's for sure. That's very nice of you, Didi. Thank you. I've got. Okay, I'm going to show you a secret. So this is. I've got some portraits that I've done. I'm putting together a couple of pages here of authors and writers. And so I do little doodles in my lap while I'm watching television with my wife. And so there'll be different pieces of paper. This is this is a scrap piece of paper that I've done. That's a lot of medium that's all over this thing, because I've used it as a base as I'm gluing things. So I take these random sheets or detritus from other unsuccessful things, and I'll just work on whatever little materials I've grabbed in the studio and walked over to the other side of the studio where we have our sitting area for watching stuff. And I'll work on these while I'm watching TV. So this is Winsor McKay. This is Jack Kirby. This is, what's his name? The Cthulhu guy. I can't remember his name right now. This is Mamet, isn't it? Mamet, David Mamet, who's an absolute fantastic playwright and film screenplay guy. Heist, Gene Hackman is David Mamet. That's Bukowski. That's Tom Waits. This is Kano. Yeah, it's Yoko Kano. She is the she wrote the Cowboy Bebop, all the music for that. And oh, thanks very much, Jim. Yeah, I'm really quite smitten by the fact that people are engaging through here, and I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate everybody that I'm sure you guys are telling people, because I don't know where people are coming from. Yeah, these are fun little art cards. Tom York, that's Dizzy Gillespie, that's John Cooper Clarke. I don't know if you've heard John Cooper Clarke's poetry, but it is genius. I'm a big fan. He's been given a doctorate at this point for his impact on British poetry. Who is this? I think that might be Barry Windsor Smith. This is Romero. That's George Romero, who's the zombie guy. This is Wes Craven. This is the man himself, Stanley Kubrick. That's Tobe Hooper, who did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So you can see that I'm trying all kinds of little different things with every one of these, and I'll walk through some of it. But there's so many mixed media things that we could do, and I'll get back to the one page in a second. This is Guillermo del Toro, and the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. So this is just a piece of white paper with a ballpoint pen drawing on it, with a white outline and some marker background. Guillermo del Toro is a blue piece of cardstock, white pen, blue pen. Tobe Hooper is a white piece. I have to look on the back to see what color the paper is. I'm ridiculous at this point. It's a white piece of paper with some brown ink smattered on it, and the face drawn in with dipping ink in brown, and then highlights pulled in into the black, but with some sponging for that really fun, look at this fun pattern. And you can get that by putting some ink on. I have watch me not be able to find it now. It's been in the way 2 or 3 times. And I have this sort of, it's an actual sanding sponge that, yeah, I can't find it. That's typical. So, but it's got this heavy texture to it. It's kind of like a Brillo pad texture. And so I'll set that gently down on some ink that I've laid on a surface and just tap it once. And you get this, it's almost organic, this really organic, but it's highly controllable because it's just a thin piece of sponge. The Kubrick is a piece of paper that I painted blue. And I'm sorry, I didn't paint it blue. I went over it with cross-hatching with ink. And then I did a blue paint wash over that, and then drew this on with a white jelly roll pen, and all that blue saturated right through the white. So it gave this really kind of a funky blue value to it, but it smoothed out the surface area at the same time. So that, and that's drawing, this is what I mean by drawing in negative. You're just drawing the light surfaces as opposed to drawing the lines, the crevices. And I like to work this way a lot. But it's seeing things, again, as shape, and seeing things as not as line, not build up as structure, but looking at it as volumes. The Wes Craven has got, there's different pieces of tape and raised paper surfaces on here. And there's some masking tape, and there's another raised piece of paper that's just sort of sitting on top and glued down, but clearly separated. And there's one right there in his eye. I don't know if you can see it. And then this is just a black dipping ink pen drawing on top that's just laid over top of the whole thing. And then I pull some of the white out over the tape area. And then oh, for heaven's sakes, George Romero. Too many names going through my head at once. The George Romero is just a typical, you put your base line down. I'm holding up a green non-photo pencil, but it's a blue non-photo pencil that I just went over with an inking pen. So that's that. This is orange marker, brown marker. This is white jelly roll pen on blue heavy grade cardstock. Oh, this is a Stonehenge type paper. So you can see all that really fun granulated texture. Okay, right? Okay, I'm missing a whole bunch, and I'm so sorry for that. Where? There we go. Thank you. I've told several friends, also the FBI. FBI can't do anything to me, buddy. I'm in Canada. But don't tell CSIS. See, I just shouldn't have brought that up because now, now he's going to tell your FBI friend, hey, CSIS. And they'll be like, okay, we'll go arrest that guy, eh? Hey, fella, you're making some waves there, It'll be a really rough takedown. Gonna have to come with us. We're gonna have a conversation there. We'll stop at Tim's on the way because it might take us a while. Should I? Are you saying I should post these? Yeah, no. I'm gonna do pages out of these. I'm gonna have. I've got one set up right now, and I'll show you that. I've scanned a bunch of these, and I have a page prepped to go on here. It is someplace. Thought I did. There it is. Okay. So this is, I've scanned a lot of these images that I've already done. And this is, its result is that this is my rough breakdown of an idea for a one-page comic of some notes about dental care that we hope will help you. And these are all different vampires that I've drawn, so which is a bit of the old silly. So that's my intent to do with some of these drawings. Red Del Toro. Oh, that is some news. Heck yes. I'm down. But actually there's a part of me that says you could just put Del Toro's films in amongst the Universals and the classics. It's almost like just colorize some of the classics and go from that. So so your question about do I post them on Instagram? I'm going to make pages out of them and post those pages. So like the tooth care ones, all these vampires are going to be telling things that we tell our children. So these each of these vampires will be making remember to brush your teeth after dinner, after each meal, or I have dentures. I don't know what the hell people do with their teeth. I just know what I do with my dentures, and that is like a standard, making sure I clean my dentures like after every meal and bedtime and standard things like that with your regular old teeth. But I got dentures because I'd have seizures. I clamp down and I crack my teeth, so I just I broke them up. So I got rather than looking like Jaws from Moonraker, I got these. So that's the idea, is that I have each of these different Hollywood film vampires. I got 2 Nosferatus on there. There's Max Schreck from Shadow of the Vampire, which is possibly my favorite vampire movie made in the last 20 years. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, please do. It's got, this is Willem Dafoe as Count Orlok from Nosferatu, or he's actually playing Max Schreck as, the guy who plays Count Orlok, who may very well be an actual, who is in the film. You have to see the film. But, and it's got John Malkovich as F.W. Murnau, the director of Nosferatu, and it is fantastic. There's Udo Kiers in it. There's a great cast to it, but it's fantastic. And then there's an actual Count Orlok image in there. But it's all about taking care of your teeth. Little advice for kids that like vampires. You like the Kubrick? I don't know where he's someplace in here. That's I think that's there's the Kubrick. Yeah, I like that one. That one's, I'm not even in camera again. So that's my plan of what I'll be doing with these things. There's a Kubrick for you. Thank you. I'm glad you like these. So I'll be posting them like this. This is getting a star. It's getting a star. It's true. Yeah, these are all 11 by 17. So I've got I'll post them as pages. These will be weekend pages. So this is what I'm talking about when I'm prepping pages. One of the pages will be about proper dental care and advice given to you by vampires, because that's the way my brain works. That's an idea from my wife. You should do something about reminding kids to brush their teeth. And I went, I think I will, hon. So I took all these random drawings of movie vampires, and that's how I'll be doing it. So yeah, Shadow the Vampire, fantastic film. But and these pages that I drew the teeth in, thanks Didi for compliments there, by the way, and everybody else. The pages that this is the same thing. These are all these random things that I have in my hand that are all 11 by 17, Jim. And so that's the same thing. The guy from Twilight at the front is digitally colored from a black and white scan. This is the guy from 30 Days a Night, and that's crosshatch blue ballpoint on the whole piece of paper, and then white pencil and black ink over top. This is the Count from The Hilarious House of Count Frightenstein, which is a Canadian morning program that I grew up on. That's Blade, Wesley Snipes. There's Max Schreck from Shadow the Vampire. There's Nosferatu. That's Gary Oldman's Dracula, and that's me as a vampire. I'm sorry, it's not in camera. Yeah, this is me as a vampire at the end. I'm gonna bite you, and then there's vampire dentures, just so that they can still, if they get too old and they lose their teeth, that they're still able to feed. That's important. So yeah, hey Kat, how are you? Hiya. So that's the vampire. They're the dental teeth that I'll be dental page I'll be doing. But this is a note card for when your kids are studying for tests and stuff like that, with green pen and white pen on it. I have a whole bunch of these cards that if people want some to use, they're playing card size pieces, actual playing cards that I have a number of packages of, and it's just green or brown pencil on it. That's red pen on one of them. I thought about doing a whole card set, and I quickly got bored of that idea. But that's Mr. Tom Waits. And then Dizzy Gillespie, that's watercolor. That's a purple pencil and these things. One of these over top of that for the values, and then some white in there too. Mammoth's straight black pen. Jack Kirby is purple pencil with white paint, and that is on a regular piece of comic paper. But I tried to do a little bit of texture, and I don't know if it's going to pick up. You could see some of the texture in there because I tried to do some scraping on that. And then this is blue. This is a crosshatch piece of paper here that I've done. There's blue tape, there's paint, and white paint, as well as blue pen over top. So, and then here's another piece of the crosshatch paper that I've had a go at, and it's got a bunch of modulations to the surface of different pieces of paper, like I showed you yesterday. This is just a standard piece of Stonehenge that I put notes on, and then eventually go, I should do something with that, and draw on the other side. So with blue cardstock, white paper, and I think I showed you that one too. So that's, yeah, I've got an entire pile of these. So if you want to see more, I got more. Oh, this is very nice. That's very nice of you. There, wow, there you go. Oh, thanks guys. That's, wow. Okay. That's very nice, everybody. I appreciate that very much. People sell art cards. Yeah. Frank's very good at selling his sketch cards and his art cards. Hey everybody. Sorry I had to run out abruptly. Okay, ready, Phil? Here you go. Ready? This is me catching you up. I've already got tired of doing that. Hey, check the video. So I got more if anybody wants to see them. I've got, because these are the ones that I plan on doing some stuff with. Here's ones that I'm going to do a horror page with. Tom Waits, born in Paloma, California. Yeah, it's a great place to grow up. One of my favorite songs of Tom Waits is "The Piano Has Been Drinking." Not me, not me. Oh yeah, he's hammered when he sings that song. This is Bob and Doug McKenzie, eh? Oh, look at that guy there. Hey, take off. He's looking at me. If you don't know Bob and Doug, please look them up. So this is I'll show you these, and then I'll get back to work on the one page. This is red cardstock with Sam from Trick or Treat, the little boy. That's blue, black ballpoint and white pen. So that's a little line art drawing, 11 by 17, Jim. This is paint on modulated paper, like there's a little piece of paper stuck in there. That's the guy from Saw. There's the Blob. Hey, give me a sandwich. Hey, what you doing? That's paint and blue line pencil pen. The Crow. Yeah, that's brown and black pen. Here's Carrie from, Carrie. So this black ballpoint, it's a pink cardstock. It's black and black ballpoint, red ballpoint, and white jelly roll. This is Griselda the Gourmet. This is the most gorgeous woman in the history of horror. Right? Look at her. She's just ravishing. She's from hilarious House of Frightenstein. I'm missing stuff here. Canadian icons. Yep. The McKenzie brothers, eh? Jacob. Best. They get Geddy Lee to sing their theme song and then claim it's them through the entire song. They talk right over them. It's beautiful. Make a YT short, flipping through these to promote your channel. I have I've done this with an Instagram short. I have I took I did a Sasquatch book. Here it is. I did this Sasquatch book, and I did sketch cards for the Sasquatch book. And so I do that with all the sketch cards that I did, and I think I did 28 in 2 days. So it's just me going like this with all the sketch cards. It's like 15 seconds of just trying to flick them through as fast as I possibly can. But yeah, maybe I should do that. Thank you, Dee Dee. That's it. That's the clown. There's Freddy. I'm sorry. It's red paint with black pen and white pen over top. There's Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street. That's red ballpoint pen and black pen over that. This is a black cardstock like we're using with white pen over top of that. And then I went over the white with blue ballpoint to get that cool blue to stick out on the black. So this is just white ink over a red piece of cardstock. And I really like this effect. I really like the sort of looseness of that. So, and then there's Jack. Honey, I'm home. Right? So, what am I missing? Oh, I'm glad you like it, Phil. YT is promoting shorts these days. Yeah, I'll have to sit down and do some of these. There's 2 more piles, but I don't want to just sit here and showing these to you all day. I don't know if that's boring. How my cat making biscuits for 10 seconds got 10,000 views. I'll never know. I'll tell you how. Because your cat can make biscuits. And that is nothing to joke about. I love cat videos. I'm a big goofball. Yeah, I have a video that Lori shot this morning. We have a television in it used to be my old studio, and Lori uses it for doing yoga. And it's also where we have shelf units along the walls that are full of all the toys that are left over from our kids growing up. that are our grandkids' toys. And so that's their play area when they come over. And of course, the arrangement is you play as much as you want, but at the end, we have to put everything away and vacuum the floor so grandma doesn't step on any Lego when she's doing yoga. But we have a television up on the wall that she engages in her yoga with the instructor. But where it is I have a half wall that with bookshelves built into it that leads up to that. And our cat Corbin paws at the TV because when the yoga person's doing the tutorial, her cat walks through it and Corbin tries to engage with that cat. And then whenever Lori's done yoga, we leave cat TV on for the morning. So it's just squirrels and birds and stuff like that. And Corbin is constantly pawing the TV. This morning, she got a video of him doing it and he fell off the mantle, which is the first time he's ever done it. So I'm going to be putting that up above my head here for one of the videos. I just haven't loaded it up yet. But I love cat videos. So yeah, anybody that posts cat videos, you're probably going to get me looking at them. I'm sorry. Giving Jim vertigo. I'm sorry. I'll stop. I better stop. Okay. So today's suggestion, I've got, this is my new feature I've put in, is the ability to write stuff on screen in real time for us now. So this is today's one-page comic suggestion that for anybody that's joined late. Get off the ledge, Jim. Dee. Yeah, he's like a cat pawing at the TV. So this is so I'm able to do the work and have this up above so people can know what the one-page suggestion of the day is, and that's fun. So yeah, thanks for watching those. There's like I said, there's more and more and more and more. Like I got tons of this crap. So yeah, the teeth one is the one that will be the first page that I'm assembling with one of these. And then I might have the one with the directors having little directors quotes under them and on film it'll be. And I'll have my idea is to have a strip of film running through the page and then have these directors talking about the film and on writing. And I'll have Mamet and Bukowski and those guys and on music. And then I've got Tom York and Tom Waits and or I'm looking. I might do a drawing of Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, and instead of having that one as on music, I'll have it on Tom's or Tom, you know, because woo. But yeah. So anyhow, so this is the first panel for our one page of a typo that changed the course of history, and so yeah. So as soon as I get that initial idea down with any of these one page things, in response to a question Jim asked earlier, I'm going to continue on with the narrative. As soon as I get that first image planted, I immediately am going to jump into the next one with, somebody at the typewriter. Here we go. And so, of course, what he's typing is the misspelling, which leads to absolute calamity. So it's like as soon as you get that first starting notion, whenever somebody gives you a suggestion, that's what lets you run off. Like at least it is for me. As soon as I saw a coffee shop, Mars, I was good for yesterday's page. So that's kind of how I build up on these ideas. What am I missing? I'm missing stuff. Are any of these for sale on my website? No, I don't. These were in a bag. I've got, this is a bag of more of them. I do these all the time and just doodles, and I throw them in a bag. So there's another Dizzy Gillespie. There's another John Cooper Clarke. There's like a Boba Fett for somebody or a Jango Fett. Yep. Here's the Queen. You know, it's just whatever. Big old bags of these, and or maybe I'll just start mailing them to people with purchases of books or something. I don't know, because Chris might be crazy. So I just work all the time. Okay, so I'm breaking down our page just because we're already at an hour 30, and I got to get some sort of structural idea here. So. One of the things that's always compelling and interesting to me, and what's Dee Dee saying? Sell. what would people pay for these things? This is my paintings I would sell for X amount of hundreds of dollars. These are the things that when Lori, when I first moved my studio home, Lori found books that I'd finished that I've done this with, and then on top of that, all these drinks. I have a slide carrel over here of that's full of these. It's just full of them. So I don't know if anybody wants to get on in the car and come on up. I got a bedroom you can stay in if anybody wants to sort this. Yeah, because I'm not good at this stuff. At times I'm a creative engine that doesn't know what to do with it. So, okay, today's page. The page I'm going to call Oops, and then so I'm going to have the starting point here is the typewriter, right? And then oops. I see them go for 25 plus. I would buy at that price. Yeah, race is a really challenging thing. I know that I've seen people that'll take their drawings and really labor on these drawings and spend X amount of time. And I want $75 for it, and you look, it's 3 by 4 inches. I can, I can't see myself spending that for some people. And then I'll see other people that'll do absolutely gorgeous, really miniature paintings, and $5. Hey, here's $5. Yeah. Art meets improv. Art prov. Maybe I should change the name of this. Instead of Everybody Wants to Listen to My podcast, which is this year's podcast. Last year was Nobody Wants to Listen to My podcast. And then we've been thinking about variations on that for each year. But maybe I should just call it Art Prov. Okay, there we go. Sorry, Gary claimed it. All right, Gary, you got to pay for the mailing. That's very nice of you guys. I really appreciate it. I don't know. I'll try to figure out something about it. I'm really overwhelmed that people. Yeah, this is just something I do. It's the same as it's no different for me. I tried to contain it. Let's put it this way, by putting it in the book. Haunted bow tie. That's for Philip. Here's a bear in a boat. It's a bear in a boat. I don't know. So the small sketchbooks that I have now is I can set them in my lap and do the same thing, but it's trying to contain all the scraps of paper everywhere. So, okay. Oops. There's the typewriter, and then the next panel is going to be a guy typing. And then, or actually, it could very well be. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me do that. Yeah. Hey, you guys want to throw together some thoughts on the teeth page? Because I don't mind doing that for the next half hour. We could write a page together. That might be fun. Okay. Just before I forget, a guy writing a note is where I'm going to start. Okay. And emphasizing the importance that you get this correct. We don't want a problem like last time, Larry. And so he hands it off, and there's the handoff. And then doesn't cut a hand off. He hands the note to another person. And then the typing is what we're going to come back to, because that's what the whole point of this presentation sequence in the story header. And then so here comes the typing. And then there's nothing better than when somebody pulls a piece of paper out of a typewriter that they do it like this. So that'll be the next panel. And then, which I'll call it pulling it out. Frank pulling out paper. It's just, you know what I'm talking about. And then somebody gets the orders. Somebody's response to the orders. Really? and absolute. And then I'm going to draw an image that runs through the whole back of it of an absolute chaotic battle scene. So, and then battle and loss of life. And this will be orders received. So that's where my brain has gone with this page. Okay, so I'm sorry I sidetracked it so much with this little, hey, look at my drawings, look at these things. So okay, let's go back to the, oh, for heaven's sakes, I get it now. Go back to the teeth page and talk about pulling teeth to buy Christopher Zerd. I deserve that. Yeah, let's do that. Here it comes. Let's write this page about pulling teeth. Yeah, there you go. You can, I'll tell you what, I'll assemble this page together as panels, and then I'll publish two versions. One is with my teeth jokes, and then I'll do another one that's just blank without teeth jokes, so that we can write how Christopher makes it so difficult. And I'm sorry for that. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe I'll scan some of this stuff and put it on the website. I'm still trying to figure out with Weebly, who is I go through Square, but Weebly is the one that I have to build it with. There's still something that causes problems about people in the States picking up stuff from me, so that there's a problem with the shipping, because in Canada we have Canada Post. So, and I haven't set it up as Amazon. So I think that's just because Amazon is the devil. It's the devil. It's more of a devil than Oprah. So I think I should just do that, because that's what's causing me to have real problems with people in the States and stuff picking up stuff without doing it as e-transfers. And then e-transfers becomes me figuring it out. So, okay, well, so if anybody has any, whoops, wrong one. So this is the gmail.com. That's my website. And if anybody wants me to get myself, if there's anything that you saw that you want me to figure out for you, let me know. What do we got? Looking, an art card fits in an envelope. Furs in an envelope. I'm going to say furs. Oh, okay, it is fits. All right. Art card fits in an envelope. Yep. Well, not some of these. Some of these are, well, I guess 4x6 envelopes. Some of them are awkward, like the shining one is, I think it's like 8 inches. Well, no, maybe that'd fit in a letter. It's a tornado in here half the time. Jim just talked to his lawyer and signed the release. We're going to call the show Art Prov. Thank you, Jim. Art Prov is fun. I had a conversation with yesterday with that somebody had asked me to come back and do some stand-up at their club, so that was kind of fun. I used to do that. Yeah, okay. I'll figure something out. But yeah, I really appreciate that. That's very nice of everybody. But if it's a standard thing. If anybody has one-page ideas, I love doing them. My brain is such a, I've always got to be, I've always got to have something going at any given moment. And now I'm just realizing how many things I have kicking around this studio that I've done nothing with. Ridiculous. Yeah, I'm seriously gonna end up looking at stuff going, what have I done? Have I done this one? So that's a definite, like, there's, I don't know what's in this one. Yeah, here's another one full of drawings. This is all from different books. Yeah, I have a problem. So maybe I should sit down and start figuring that out. because that's, yeah, I don't think my problem is output. I think my problem is organization from said output, because yeah, that's another one. Yeah, this is another thing of books. So if I have to get everything set up, I got to get myself more seriously here. This is like I said, 2015. I started publishing books locally, and because I managed a bookstore, I would just stick them in the bookstore, and we would sell a few hundred copies, and I was okay with that. That was good as gravy for me, because I've got bags and bags of this I got to do something with. That was good as gravy for me, and so I would sell a few hundred copies of each of these books that I would do, and that was, and I could do a stream if you want to. We can show you some of the books we've done. That might be fun. And then we would sell them through the bookstore, and that worked fine, except for the fact that it was just a regionally based thing, and I saved myself all of the overhead of shipping and sending stuff around places, and I saved myself the pain in the butt of going to all kinds of different local comic book stores, and local as I mean in southwestern Ontario in the province I'm in, or even bothering to go to Michigan or any of the close by states, Buffalo, New York, and cities like that. So I would just do it regionally here, just a couple of stores in town, and I realized even a couple of the stores that are in town, they don't do anything about promotion whatsoever, whereas the people that I know come in the shop and go, hey, what's your newest book? And then they just go and find the book, which is always nice, right? So it's only when COVID started and they shut us down here, and I think it was May, March, April, something like that, of 2021, that I even paid attention to online at all. And it was only in September of 2021 when I had the DKA, and I realized maybe I should be engaging more here. So this is as much time as I've been on the interwebs, really. Anything before that, I really didn't put anything into. So I'm still learning everything, and I'm not learning it very well, because I'm not technologically savvy, and I'm not one for thinking about marketing. I'm not very good at marketing. But I'm very good at letting the rampant ideas in my head come out. But I've probably got about 6 or 7 books worth of stuff right here that I don't know what I'm doing with at this point. And I'm not saying that to be that guy. I'm saying it just because here's the secret insight into how my brain works, is that it's not the most organized place on the planet, and yet I think I'm pretty organized. But when it comes to doing something with that, the realization that I have at this point is that I think my idea has been maybe right now with the one pages, I just do something that, I do enough one pages, and then I want to see if somebody else wants to see if there's a publisher that'll just pick it up, because I can't do that part. I can't do both parts, where the unhinged approach to making things, I'm there. But when it comes to marketing it, I really appreciate everybody's insights, because that part I have not been good at all. So that's, I think I just need to sit down this weekend and figure this out. So you're right. Thank you, Dee. I appreciate that so much. That's so sweet of you, and everybody else in your support and comments. I appreciate that immensely. I don't want to come off as a crazy person, but I've got to figure this out. I don't have. I have PayPal. I don't remember what it is. See, this is the problem. This is what I'm talking about. I have to get that connected and get everything sorted out here tonight. No, I don't think you're dissing me at all. Didi, I appreciate that immensely. But I have not considered online. Except for trying to figure out how to develop a social presence of being able to get it together so that I can do things online. But clearly now I need to figure out how do I do something with the things that I'm doing online. So it's been a pretty steep learning curve for me, like it has been for everybody else. But since I got sick in 2021, September of 2021, I have done about 170 pages at this point of drawings and stuff to do things with that I haven't done things with, other than the stuff that's of my own. And then I've done 3 books that haven't come out yet of 24-page books for others. I've collected 52 pages so far of the 170. So I'm trying. And then this is the first of the books that I've done for where's the camera? There's a camera for other people. And there's inside cover and front cover. And then this is the Sasquatch book that I did. And so I have tons of sketch cards. So anybody that buys one of those, I'll do something with. I got a channel though. This is why I say, and I know, and I don't mean to demean mental health. I'm not trying to say that when I say that I'm crazy, but it's I just have to figure out the next part. So I appreciate everybody's support and encouragement, and some of these insights that I'm getting from you are good, and I'm going to write them all down. Okay, so I'm not alone in this. I appreciate that so much. Marketing people's own work is that's a challenging thing, and boy, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. It's love to me. That's loving support. I can't get over it. It's thank you so much, Kat and Deed. Everybody else that watches us regularly as well, and Gary and Jim and Phil, and all these insights are. I got to get it together. I got to get it sorted out. But most artists are bad at this. Yeah, I'm not surprised. And I've done the fine art world, and I hate it. But I figured out all the fine art world stuff for getting my stuff in galleries, despite the fact that London is a very standoffish place. It's about who you know and who you're related to, and money, and the university that's in the city here, and it tends to dismiss anybody that doesn't fit into this sort of criteria. And the only way that you can get recognition in the area around me for your work is by developing your skill set. And so I got really good at that, and I've done 31 shows, and I've had the blessing of being able to have a bunch of people get that stuff. But and I'm thank you very much, Deed. I appreciate that. My push has always been, clearly I have leanings towards socialism, because I'm one of those people that if I can open a door, I'm going to kick that damn thing open, and so that we can all get through it. But what I'm not good at is focusing on what I'm doing as the thing to be looked at and discussed. And so when I'm sharing these things, I'm just sharing these things with you. Like, look, you can use this medium and do these things with this way, and this effect can be done that way. More so than I'm showing you these cards will be like, hey, look at all my art to buy. Like, my brain's got that disconnect for that. And so online is everyone, never mind the galleries. Yeah, I'm done with galleries. I'm absolutely done with galleries showing and exhibiting and work. And even like silly things like behind me, this goofball painting. Yeah, that's for me. Hey, Lou, you want to see hey, Bob, you want to see my dance moves? I don't know. I just wanted to paint. So, yeah. Some of us capitalists will pay for good art. Well, yeah. So maybe I just need to get it together so that I can, capitalize on that. Hey, yeah. I like to play on words. So, yeah, I appreciate it, everybody. I hope I'm not coming off as the world's most awkward goofball, but I appreciate all that encouragement and support, everybody. It's that's not clearly I'm uncomfortable of people going, hey, you do a thing. It's hard enough to blend into a crowd. Okay, so I've been putting up at the top, ChristopherRunciman.ca is the website that I have. And you know what I can do? Hold on a second. Give me one quick sec. This is, I'm going to throw it over here because I have figured out how to do this now. Okay, there you go. And you can go here and you can go there. So this is my website. It's ChristopherRunciman.ca. Let me eliminate our talking points. So this is, oh, I still got the announcements up. See, this is a problem with marketing. I've still got the announcement up of Jim coming onto the streaming and us chatting together. So yeah, I'll change that today. So this is the website. This is some of the books that I've done, and showing a bunch of one-page images like this one. This is I really had fun doing this page about kids sacrificing. If you sacrifice animals to the pond, it gives you gold. And this is more about a little sister giving her brother a hard time for throwing a family pet in the water. But I really like the ending. They don't escape. Where I'm missing all this chatting. Jim and I talk fairly regularly about how we're great at making and not great at promoting. We should start a support group. Yeah. You know what? I would benefit from that support group because, right? Yeah, Gary's books are awesome. Gary, I've been blessed by the fact that Gary sent me his first 2 books as digital copies just so we could engage with each other immediately. And I've read those books 3 times. I am going to buy a physical copy as soon as he puts his 3rd book up. I'm going to buy all 3 because I can't tell you how much I respect and appreciate Gary's talents. And I will sing that until I fall off the cliff. I'll probably sing it on the way down. But yeah, indeedly do, Dee Dee. I completely, I always say indeedly do, and I've just realized how that fits in with saying your name. And I apologize if you don't like that. I won't do it again. Yeah, so this is I used to keep all my pencil nubs, and this is me going through how many pencils I worked right down to the nub within a year. So yeah, so I've got some quotes up here from Scott and Marsh and from when they picked up one page. But there's galleries, there's social media stuff, and then the connections to the social links, and then I've got some original art. There's my comics are in here. If anybody orders any of this jazz, and so I've got it so that when you run over the books, you see a page from inside. Short story release. These are all short story comics, black and white format. Jim's sense of humor and personality is a great selling point. Indeed. Yeah, no, Jim is a gigantic piece of fantastic. And I don't mean like you're a big guy. I mean like you're huge, fantastic. I really enjoyed being able to talk with Jim on the streaming here. But again, here's a person that I've been watching his videos now and clicking whenever I get an opportunity to have something playing in the studio, not in the background. I won't watch Jim's animations in the background. I'll watch Jim's animations. So that's the only thing that's kept me from actually already, just chaining through all of his videos, because I'll actually sit down and watch them because I just enjoy him. He's a real talent. So yeah, these guys are too humble for their own good. And I say that when I'm it's just concurring with you here, Dee Dee. I say that, and meanwhile I go into a panic when people are like, "Oh, I look for pictures." These are one-page things. This is one of the books my wife found in a drawer. That's a book she found in a drawer. You can see the style from 2015 to today has changed a little bit when it comes to making comics. But every book I would try a different thing. And that's why I can't collect all the Elmwood books, because they make 0 sense stylistically together. This is one of the books my wife found in a drawer. Yeah. More one-page shorts. Oh, that's the one I showed you. There's another Elmwood. This is another part of the Apex book, book 1, book 2. And then there's a collected one. It has both of those ballpoint pen books in it. This is blue ballpoint with blue pencil crayon. More short stories and trying out different ideas. And this is before I started learning Photoshop. So I do all these graphics by hand. I would learn to figure out the typefaces and everything else by hand. So here's another one-page short story book, and you can see where the logos are all done by my friend Tristan, who does all those for me. There's Elmwood 5. There's the collected both volumes of Apex in one. There's the alphabet books. Alphabet books are alphabeteries. So if I've been paying attention to this again. Yeah, this whole community of artists, all of you are absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. I can't say enough how much I appreciate everybody accepting me into this nutty person through the doorway. These are all one-page comics ostensibly, but it's an alphabetery. An alphabetery is what the monks would use to teach people the alphabet. A is for apple, B is for boy, G is for girl. So I did comics according to alphabets, little one-page art ideas or short comics, and I have bags of those if people are interested in those, or I have the books on the website. But I wanted to be and so I scratch out the idea on this one, which is a lot of fun. I wanted to be drive a fly, an airplane, when I have it was a big little girl banana boy. And then it says memories of fuzzy thing, because yeah. Elmwood 4. This is a SOS book. This is Space Opera Story. This is another alphabet book. The fence thing, I'll have to show you this original. These are 3x4 images that are put together for a page. Fence is if you take corrugated paper and you tear it down the center so that you get the corrugated. So cardboard paper is made by one sheet and another sheet, and then a ribbon sheet, a rigid ribboned sheet like this glued in between. And that's what makes cardboard. If you take off the exterior sheets and just use that corrugated part, I cut a piece of it out, and then I glued it down here on there, and I stenciled the word fence over top, because now it's a fence on this drawing. That's how my brain works. So there's a bunch of little fun things like that. There's Elmwood 8, 9. There's another alphabet book. There was something I brought you up here to show you. It'll come to me in a minute. That's a one-page comic as far as I'm concerned, or it's at least an identifiable idea. This page is called Architect. So more Elmwood, and this is where I started learning how to do things in Photoshop. This is when I first turned on Photoshop, but you can see how the art style of Elmwood has changed over the course of the book, and that this is how I started drawing the Elmwood comics in the same way as I was drawing those ballpoint pen books. So by the time I get to 11, I'm just drawing a pen straight on, and realized this is how I'm the most comfortable drawing. I stopped trying to draw like comic book people, drawing in pencil and then going over with ink, and just draw in pen like it works for me. So that's what Elmwood eventually went back to. And then I've got the one-page book in there is available, and the Sasquatch book, and everything's priced in Canadian. So that's those ones. And then there's some original art pages up. I probably should have done this a while ago, showed people what I do. I'm a bit of a ding-dong. These are some of the pages from One Page Comic Extravaganza. They're 11 by 17. This is Frankenstein. This one here is Frankenstein. The Frankenstein monster goes to kindergarten. This one is a Frankenstein monster. It takes his driving test. Every one of these pages, the Frankenstein pages, I'll show you. They always start with the same panel, and it's where Frankenstein is a 5-year-old and says, "Hi." It says, "Hello, my name is Steven. I'm brushing my teeth." So every one of the Frankenstein monster pages, I'm going to do that for, just because that's funny to me. So that my Frankenstein monster isn't a Frankenstein monster. It's Steven. That's so sweet. Look at this guy right here. That's a gentleman. That's a gentleman indeed. All right. So then there's some more pages and then pinups that I would do. That's my favorite character in Labyrinth, of the guy in his bird hat that he talks to. You know, would you be quiet? It's just one of the best characters ever. This is the treasure was not what I expected. That's green tape on the paper. That's Newsflash. That's one of the pages that I would draw and ink afterwards. Evening All, it's just drawn in pen. There's the architect page. Now that's a train print that I did. These are the original art for Sam the Private Eyes, 1, 2, and 3. That's the original art for Nicolas Cage as a Queen. El Mariachi, yes, too sexy. That's the Antonio Banderas one page. Do a page on Antonio Banderas being too sexy. All right. And then this is the Society of Vultures original page from the book. So that stuff's there too. Whoops, what did I do? Shop. I don't want to shop all. I just pressed it again. There's the ad for the one page, and that shows you bigger images of some of the pages from that. There's color versions of Frankenstein Monster Goes to Kindergarten. There's that's a Jerry Seinfeld page of a comedian becomes the one thing he hates the most, a clown. Yeah. So that's the, and then this is all the anthologies that I've published of other people's work that we have done through RP Comics. And so this is me trying to give everybody else an opportunity in London here to get their names into print and their work into print, and then they can take copies of these books. And this is the London Comic Jam that I run. We're doing it for those as well. And then these people can take their self in print and go to conventions with these, say, look, somebody printed me, and I try to make the books look as professional as I could. When Tristan Dumont is God Saver, she saves me. She does all this graphic formatting for me for these projects to make me look like I know what I'm doing. And so she puts all of these together so that and does all the covers for the Apartments books. These are all her original covers, and every one's a variation on Apartments. I call the anthologies Apartments because when I look in an apartment building, I don't see well, that's Apartments. I see stories, not just the stories. How many different stories is that building? Oh, it's 9 stories. In my head, every apartment is stories. Everyone's a life. Every life is a story, right? So that's why I call the Apartments anthology as the title of those books, is because that's the quick associations my brain makes. And it's a whole bunch of different stories piled up on each other like an apartment. And then we did an alternative version of one, and it's called Alternative Living. And so it's a tent because of my goofball. So it's the table of contents of all the Apartments books is buzzers for buildings, and then the contents for the buzzers is the table of contents for what the stories are. And in the Alternative Living one, the table of contents is a map of Walnut Grove, because Little House on the Prairie, man. And then we try to list on all of on the back cover of all of the Comic Jam, all of the artists that are in here. So that's fun. And then we make jokes about jam on every one. Like this one is, the back cover says jam. The front cover says, hey, looks like we're caught in a bit of a, and the other guy says, don't say it, jam. So yeah, that's the gist of it. Hey, look at this. This one's for Gary. It's UFO Gary. That's a sighting. Huh? Yeah, so different apartment buildings. This is Tristan's home. There's Tristan's apartment. Anyway, so yeah, that's the meat and potatoes, and then there's a bit about blah 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 me. So in any way you want to contact us. So yeah, so I gotta do whatever I gotta do at this point and go down and scream bloody murder or whatever I need to do to get this working properly. I know. So yeah, the MIVs. Bring them, bring it on, bring it. I got my axe right here. Anyways, yeah, that's very nice, you, Dini. That's so nice. Okay, so yeah, so that's the run through today, and I'm gonna get this page finished for tomorrow, and let me turn this off and this on. Hey, okay, no, that's the other way around. Okay, good. So I'll get this page finished for tomorrow, and thank you, Didi, for the suggestion, and I will be sure to get this one done. And if anybody else has another one-page comic suggestion, I think I've got one from Frank for tomorrow. A dragon rethinking his life choices. That's a lot of fun, Frank. So I'll be doing that. And Frank, if I forgot to mention earlier, you're another nice person and a supportive guy I've met here. So there's the gist. That's what I'm going to do. I appreciate everybody's support and everybody's encouragement and everybody's insight. And I will have to sit down and figure out ways to promote this Shamil Shamazel a little bit better. That's the next part I think I got to figure out in this whole online artistic journey, because my problem isn't drawn. My problem is doing something with it. So okay, everybody's saying later on. Hey, that's very nice of you, Philip. I appreciate that. This is going to get a star on it because this is a terribly dreadful thought, and that's very nice of you. So yeah, I appreciate everybody coming and hang out as per usual, and I'll be back tomorrow. It's checking the day. It's Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:00 to showcase this page and to start on the Dragon page. And I would be surprised if you did. Philip is from London originally, for anyone that doesn't know. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at 2:00, and we'll get crack-a-lacking on this stuff. In the meantime, I think I might spend some time today trying to figure out getting some of this technologies working better. But I appreciate everything from everybody once again. Thanks very much, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. And in the meantime, don't forget to keep creating. All right, and keep making your stuff. I look forward to seeing it. All right, we'll talk later on.